Let us now leave you with this Monday morning with our regular look at what the charts are saying about markets. Our regular technical analyst is Alex Douglas of MMS International. He joins me from our newsroom this morning. Alex, what I really wanted to have a look at today is the outperformance of the NASDAQ as opposed to the Dow Jones and the S&P. Now, we've spoken in the past about the long-term trends for the main markets, but what is the NASDAQ chart telling you right now? Have the recent gains changed your perspective on where they're going?
Well, it's an interesting thing. If we just look at a plain chart of the NASDAQ, it doesn't really look all that dissimilar to the charts of both the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 over recent months. But it's when you have a look at the relative performance that you do start to see the NASDAQ, in fact, has been outperforming just marginally since around about the September-October lows. It's nothing dramatic yet, but there certainly does seem to be the start of a bit of a trend there of NASDAQ outperformance. If you look at relative performance between the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, they've been moving pretty much in lockstep since around about the September-October lows. But NASDAQ, against both the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 is showing a little bit, the pullbacks are a little bit less deep, and when it does have a rally, the rally seems to be a little bit stronger. So
from a technical perspective, have we hit any levels that would suggest that there's been evidence that we're on an uptrend here?
Not just in NASDAQ outright, no, I don't think so. We're still we're lifting away from the lows we had in mid-February around about 1261, 1262. There's some pretty good resistance for NASDAQ up around the 1,400, 1420 level. I'd really want to see the market getting above there before the NASDAQ in its own right was starting to look quite good. But if you're a fund manager, I guess what you are interested in really is relative performance. So certainly you can say the NASDAQ does have better relative performance.
Okay, but technically nothing there. Okay, I was just wondering whether we'd got to the stage where that outperformance had made a technical difference. Let's have a look at the S&P 500 then, and what is the technical picture for the market overall?
Well, in the near term, it's still not looking too bad. It might try and push a little bit higher in the coming week. If we look at a short-term chart here, we did okay last week. We've still got potential for some more gains. This area here, around about the 865, 875 level, is still very important, and I think as long as the market remains below there, I think upticks remain corrective. If we have a look at a longer-term chart, the one-year chart, we can see that level in more detail. It comes through around here, this 875 level. So until the market can really push above there, I'm still viewing these upticks in the S&P 500 largely as corrective.
Now, everyone's talking about a war rally. If we do see a war rally taking us above that level, would that be a technical move, or would that be something you'd be regarding cautiously?
No, if it happens on the chart, then it's good enough for me. If it can get above 875 and hold above there, then certainly that would improve the outlook. Then we'd be looking up towards levels around the 931, 938 region. Okay,
so you wouldn't be buying until we've seen a close above 875.
I'd really like to see that before being convinced that this rebound has got legs.
All right, and let's have a look quickly at gold as well, because gold is something we've been looking at, and the movement there has been quite significant. How's that look?
Yeah, it's had a pretty good rebound from the support around the 340 region. I think it hit a low around 341. The rebound now has run into some resistance around about the 50-day moving average, which comes in around about 354.50. I wouldn't be surprised if we do have a little bit more of a dip. It could even drop below that 341, 340 support level, but I'm still viewing that in the big picture as a buying opportunity. On the upside, obviously we need to get above this 354, 355 area. Then there's a little bit of resistance around 365 before we could start reconsidering the peak.
On the downside, what level would it have to reach before you thought that the uptrend was over?
I'd really be getting concerned if we fell below, say, 326. That's roughly where the 200-day moving average comes in at the moment. Right. If we fell below there,
good stuff. Alex, thanks very much indeed for joining us this morning.
Thanks,
Talk to you next week.
Thank you.
Alex Douglas of MMS International, rounding out this edition of Asia Market Watch for this morning. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Taimur Nabili, and I'll leave you with a look at the day's top business and world headlines. Bye-bye.